Okay, page 7. Your pieces measure A is 8 by 8 and 1/8. You will need 3 B pieces, and they measure 6 by 6 and a half, 3 of those. Your C pieces, you will need 2 of them, measure 7 and a quarter by 8 and 5/8. And lastly, your D pieces, you will need 2 of them. They will be hinges, and they measure 1 by 4. Fabulous, get those cut, and then guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna score stuff. Okay, scoreboard. Piece A. Piece A is going to be scored. Put it in on the 8-inch side. We're going to score it at half. And at 5/8. Your B pieces, each of them will be scored at half on the 6-inch side. Then we are going to rotate 90 degrees and score again at half and at 6. So these are going to be buckets. So do all 3 of your B pieces that way. Half on the 6-inch side, rotate, and half again, and 6 on the 6.5-inch side. Your D pieces, C pieces. C pieces will be scored at half on the 8 and 5/8 inch side. So half on the longer side. Then we're going to flip it over. So that half-inch mark is still right here. It's just showing the mountain side now. We're going to score again at 4 and 5/8. Okay, so we'll do that with the second C piece. So half, flip, 4 and 5/8. And lastly, your D pieces, which are hinges. So as always, half on the 1-inch side, right lengthwise, right down the middle. Okay, get in there. Now we will add our score tape to all of those. Oops. Remember, put it on the valley side. You got this. You already know that. Okay, buckets. Okay, miter all of your corners. Okay, Bye bye biddies, and it's time to crease and fold, fold and crease, crease and fold and crease. Just like on the last page, I think it was the last page. Yeah, we have opposing score, like opposing folds. So make sure you fold things in the correct direction. I've been really good about using my bone folder on this tutorial. I'm quite proud of myself. I've only lost it a couple times. Okay, almost done. Okay, bring in your last base page. Tyvek strips are to the left. We are going to adhere A right to the bottom of the base page. Okay. Now before we add our B pieces, we want to add our pattern paper to the front of A. I'm just using straight blue, so figure out what you want to do there and add your piece of pattern paper, and then we will put our B pieces down. It can be done afterwards as well. You can like paper piece around the B pieces if you would prefer to do it that way. That's totally fine, because the B pieces are all going to sit on top of each other like that. So if you prefer, you can have 4 strips going around the outside. There we go. So your first B piece, let's get this score tape backing off the sides, make it into our pocket. Come on, backing, work with me. There we go. Okay, and then fold up the bottom. Alright, so it's adhered in the corners there. Now we're going to put this down. You can measure if you like. Again, I'm going to eyeball. I'm an eyeballer. That sounded funny. And just right smack dab in the center. Put that down like that. And that's your first pocket. Your second pocket is going to go right on top of that. So your second B piece. And we're going to have it so that the opening of the pocket is facing the right. Okay? And it's going to go right on top of that first B piece. Okay, so now you've also got a pocket going that direction, and one going that direction. And guess where the third one's going to go? Going to go right on top with the pocket facing left. So then you have 3 different pockets, all going different directions, but stacked on top of each other. Alright, so that one is that way. Now we are going to open up, or open down A. Open down, and then your two C pieces are going to go on either side of the base page. And they'll meet in the middle. Oh, I think I have. That one's a smidge far over, but I think we can work with it. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. So it goes like that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create one more pocket using our hinges. So remove the two, one side of each hinge, one side of the backing from, and we're going to put them on the back of the top and bottom of your left C piece. Okay, so the opening of this one is facing up, that's the opening there, and the other one is going to do the opposite, and it's going to go down. So remove half the backing. Okay, and the opening is facing down. Okay, so they go like that. And now remove the rest of the backing, and then we'll close it up. So this is going to create one more pocket. It's the ultimate pocket page. Okay, so now we're going to close that. And now you have a pocket here, but it still opens that way. Okay, so now we're going to add some magnets, as we do. We're going to do your right C needs to close to itself and down to the base page. What do I do with my score tape? Okay, and then also going down to the base page. And then we'll do the same C to itself on the left-hand side. Okay, so now those are locked down, and now we just need two magnets on the A piece closing to the C's. Okay, and there we go. So that is all locked down. Now we'll just add our pattern paper, and so I'm going to figure out what pieces I'm going to use and come up, and I will be right back. Okay, so put our pattern paper on, matching it with this last page, so trying to get the same kind of color scheme. So we'll put down okay, so this piece, Okay, so I just wanted to show you what I did in the decorating of page 7. I thought it was recording for the whole thing, but it wasn't. Sorry. So on the front, I've got that this piece of pattern paper to match everything kind of matches the corresponding page here. So I wanted to get some of the orange, so I used each one of the pockets. I die cut the edge and did it in orange, so that's the corresponding orange part, and then the blue as the background. And then when you fold it down, I've got this orange pattern and then the stripes, and then both of these open to the left and to the right, and they have the blue and the and this pattern again, just like in the other page. And then this also opens up that way, and I've got the orange and this, and I have to get some tags in that pocket still. Okay, and now we will be flipping this over. Set it aside for now, but we'll be doing the last page here. So let's get our pieces together for page 8. You will need your first piece, your A, is 7 3/8 by 8. Your B piece is 7 1/4 by 11. C is 4 1/4 by 11. D, you'll need 2 of them, and they are 4 3/4 by 7 3/8. Your E piece is 3 1/2 by 8 3/8. And your F piece is 6 1/2 by 7 3/8. Okay, so those are the pieces you'll need. Get those all cut out, and then we will get our scoring board out. Score piece A at half on the 8-inch side. Score piece B at 3 inches on the 11-inch side. C will be scored at 3 1/2 and at 7 1/2 on the 11-inch side. So 3 1/2 and 7 1/2. Okay, each of your D pieces will be scored at half on the 4 3/4 inch side. Okay, and then E, we're going to score it at half on the 3 1/2 inch side. And then we're going to turn it 90 degrees and score it again at both half and at 7 7/8. So that's going to be a pocket. And your last piece, your F, score F at half on the 6 1/2 inch side. Okay, that's all your scoring. And now we are going to add our score tape. No score tape on C, no half-inch sections, same with B. Okay, now miter all the corners and then crease and fold. Score tape, miter, crease and fold. Still a bad tune. Gotta work on it. Okay, I'm going to crease all of these off camera because you got this part, and then I'll come back and we'll start putting it together. Okay, bring that base page in. Just finish that side, flip it over. So piece A is going to go on the very right side of your base page. Okay, now B. So we still have this pocket here. We haven't done anything with these pockets on the side. I am going to make really simple inserts for them. So the big part goes inside, and this just folds over. Okay. It will be closed with the C portion. Okay, now move this out of the way for just a sec. Get your C, and now your 2D pieces are going to go on the top and bottom of C. So in the center section here. Okay, make sure these can still fold properly. They can, excellent. So there we go. Alright, now set that aside for just a sec and open up your A piece, and we are going to stick your E, which is your pocket, onto the left side of the base page. Okay, onto the base page. There we go. And then F is going to go on the right side of the base page, right where we have A. So it's just another layer. Okay. Now move that aside for just a second. Open up your CD, and we're going to make a mark in the lower right corner. You don't have to be super exact, around 1/2 inch in from the bottom and 1/2 inch from the side. So right about there. Okay, so you can use your Crop-A-Dile, or you can use whatever you have handy to make holes. Okay. Now, bring this back in. We're going to close up your A piece, close up your C piece, and now place your CD so that it is about, so this edge, this far edge is about half an inch or so from the left side, okay? And kind of centered top and bottom. And now take a pen or something, place it in the hole, okay? So that you can swivel things around. So now, without moving that pen, swivel this around, just to make sure that when it's swiveled, this has enough room to open. And now it's about 1/2 inch from this side. I know it's hard to see when it's on the table. So there's a 1/2 inch over here now. And when you turn it this way, there's a 1/2 inch over here. Okay, so now with your pen in that same spot, make a mark there through that hole so you know exactly where to put the corresponding hole. Okay, so now I've got a hole or a mark right there, so that's where I'm going to make my corresponding hole. And now we want to get a brad. Okay, so we're going to put the brad through both this CD piece and through A, that hole we just made on A. Okay, and then we're going to open the tines on the back. So we will add pattern paper, but we just want to add magnets first, and then we will detach this and put the pattern paper on. Okay, so see what I mean now that it's folded up, you can see a little better. So there's a 1/2 inch on this side when it's vertical. When you turn it horizontal, there's about a 1/2 inch on this side, and now this can open. Okay, so now we're going to add some magnets. So first let's add magnets just to close this thing up. So you can add magnets here and here. I think I'm going to, just to make sure it's really secure, but you can probably get away with just doing one set from here to here. Okay, I'll just show you. Okay, so that closes up like that. So that's probably enough. You can also do another set closing these two, but you can get away with just doing the one. Now we need to add magnets to close it to both the B piece and the A piece. So let's start by adding 2 magnets on the back of this. So I find it easiest, I'm going to swivel it right down to the bottom and then flip this over so I can see the back of it, okay? And now I'm going to put 2 magnets onto the back. Two sets of magnets. Okay, now flip this back over, and you're going to rotate this and make sure that it's straight, and then adhere those 2 magnets. Okay, so now you've got 2 magnets on the C piece, or B piece. Okay, so now flip this over again, add 1 more magnet to each of these. So just let them adhere. Add another bit of score tape. Flip the page over again, and now these ones are going to, oh no, don't adhere there. These ones are going to adhere to the A piece when it's in the horizontal position. Okay, so there they are. So now it can go either vertical or horizontal. Okay, now let's add some magnets to the rest of the part, rest of the page. So you don't really need, actually I'm going to put a swing tab here instead, so we don't even need any more magnets. So let's open the tines and get this out of the way. And then we'll add all of our patterned paper, and then we'll reattach this. So I'm going to get my pieces of patterned paper ready, and I'll be back in just a sec. Okay, so I've got some of my pieces on. I went with the stripes and the dark blue on the front. I haven't put this one on yet because we still need to make a hole and reattach our, what is it, the CD piece. Inside I've gone with the stripes again, and the pocket, and this part I went with this blue and white pattern paper, and then I did just a little bit of stamping here on this pull-out part. I haven't added any pattern paper to the rest of the pull-out yet, and so now we shall, and then the turtles here. So now let's re-punch a hole so we can attach our brad again. Okay, so grab this piece and open it. Oh, and I've gone with the stripes and the turtles. I left these parts blank because it was starting to get pretty bulky, and I wanted to be able to still add pictures into it, you know, so I didn't want it to get too bulky that you couldn't add pictures. I wanted to make sure it would close still. So I left some of them blank. So, but we'll open it up just so we can get to the hole. So we need to re-punch this hole as well. Might be easiest with the crocodile on this one. So that's re-punched. Now we'll get our brad and put it through that, and then through A. And then open the tines on the other side, and then close this back up. Okay, now we can attach this piece. So I'm going with this to match over here. Okay, I'm not sure if this has an up or a down. I'm going to go with this way. Alright, so there you have it. There are your, that's for page 8 done. I might do a little bit more decorating here, but I don't want to put too much on here because I want this to be able to swing freely, so you don't want any bulky embellishments up here because you want to make sure that this is going to swing all nice and clear. Alright, so maybe a sticker, but that's about it. Okay, so there's that, and now we will work on the binding.